From the Eli Soccer Park in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, we wrap up the 42nd WIAA Girls Soccer State Tournament. The Division II Golden Ball on the line as the Pewaukee Pirates take on the Brookfield Central Lancers. Hello, welcome to our game broadcast alongside soccer coach Eric Shazer. My name is Matt Menzel. Fourth and final game here on Championship Saturday. Pewaukee at state for the first time. Brookfield Central at state for the 15th time. First time since 2018. Looking for title number 7 as we check out the Menards keys to this game.
Matt, the key for the Pewaukee Pirates is to keep rolling. They had a couple tough outings right before the playoffs started, but they've been rolling ever since. For the Brookfield Central Lancers, it's to stay strong. They had a really competitive, tough schedule during the season, up and down results, but they've been going strong throughout the playoffs, and now they find themselves in the championship game.
All right, so we kick off the Division II state championship matchup. It's the Brookfield Central Lancers against the Pewaukee Pirates. But up first, a message from our statewide sponsors. This is your WIAA network affiliate. It's a battle of Waukesha County. The Brookfield Central Lancers out of the Greater Metro Conference against the Woodland Conference West Division's Pewaukee Pirates. It's cool off a little bit with a game time temperature of 89 degrees. It feels like 90. The wind is dying down a little bit too with gusts at 35 miles per hour. But we were set for our fourth and final game here on Championship Saturday. It's a Division II championship matchup. The Lancers coming out in the all-white uniforms. They have 13 victories, 5 defeats. They have won a season best 6 consecutive after knocking off Sauk Prairie 3-0 yesterday in semifinal play. The Pewaukee Pirates, 13 victories, 8 defeats. They have won a season best 5 in a row after they knocked off River Falls 3-1. On Friday, they come out sporting the red and black. Manny Robinson, the starting goalkeeper for Brookfield Central, a 5'10 freshman. 0 goals allowed and 1 save in yesterday's semifinal. Will be tested by a Pewaukee offense that's been able to produce a total of 79 goals. And we are underway here in the opening 40 of this D2 championship matchup.
Matt, not quite sure what to expect here. Looking at maybe a sort of a defensive game. Neither team is the most prolific scoring team we've seen in this D2 championship. So we're going to have to see how this game plays out. Whichever team can take control early. As you said, our wind has died down a little bit, but it still is a factor. It's still going from one corner, that southwest corner of the field, to the northeast corner of the field, and it has affected our other games. So we'll see what happens here, and whichever team can adjust.
This portion of the 2025 WIAA Girls Soccer Championships is brought to you by Menards. Pass coming near side with Elena Terneski, an all-state selection following the 2024 season. She is back for her junior season. And right about when you look at the defenses for both of these teams. Again, Pewaukee has only allowed a total of 22 goals with a total of 12 shutouts, 3 here in the postseason. Brookfield Central allowed a total of 18. 8 shutouts, 4, 3 of which, now 4 with yesterday's semifinal, have come here in the postseason. So off the takeaway, the Lancers run on this near side. And a short pass over from Alexandra Rossi. Out of the back here with Bree Delisle, a first-team All-Greater Metro Conference selection in 2024.
Matt, both teams have played very competitive schedules, so they've had some really tough games throughout this season, and they've come out on top a few times and come out on the wrong end, but that's prepared them. They've learned from those losses even. It's prepared them for this championship game.
One big note for Pewaukee, playing without the services of Alex Bergkemper, the junior defender who was Ashland, Ohio-bound Division II in a couple of years, picking up a couple of yellow cards, equaling the red yesterday in the 35th and 69th minutes. So unable to give it a go here in this Division II championship matchup. Throw-in coming up here for the Lancers. On that far side, you have Anya Brigham, one of the captains for Brookfield Central. off the turn with Katie Craddock, who is in her sophomore year. Craddock, a 2024 all-conference honorable mention. We're going to make the run here for Pewaukee near side. Hannah Sorkness had an impact for the Pirates yesterday. Sorkness able to score in the 41st minute, which at the time tied the game after falling behind to River Falls. But Sorkness with some great opportunity, finishing with a total of 6 shots, 4 on goal.
Matt, that was something I had in my notes, that Hannah Sorkness had 4 shots on goal as a player to keep an eye on. She was a difference maker in their semifinal match. We'll see if she can duplicate that in this championship game.
She, along with the Pirates, only got better as the game progressed. Much like their sectional final against New Berlin Eisenhower, same thing where all of a sudden they take the initial lead, get a goal in the 41st, then put the finishing touches with a couple of goals in the last 11 minutes of play en route to a 4-0 result.
Don't have to win it.
I think looking at the season results for both these teams and the goals scored and the goals against, that the team that gets out to the lead, if they can jump out early, they're going to have a distinct advantage as this game plays out.
Oh, it's thrown here for the Pirates. Good playoff run, having outscored their first 4 postseason opponents 22-1. That being put to the test for a team that finished 5th in the final Division II state rankings. Number 1 seed in Division II. Again, at state here first time ever. Your boys team has been to state on 3 occasions, but they were 0-3 playing in Division II back in 2008, 2012, and Division III in 2013. The header there for Kylie Ramaker. Out of the back here with Elena Ehlert. And up this right side with Hannah Sorkness. So Rossi sent it right back to midfield for the Lancers. Terneski on this near side with Sorkness. We're going to send it across. And dropping to her knees, Sorkness want to get back up and play the ball. We get Ella Opie on this near side, 2 for Pewaukee. Outside here with Kylie Ramaker.
Would have liked to see Sorkness there just maybe lay the ball off behind her. She had a teammate.
Knocked away there by Bree Delisle after the cross attempt that involved Addie Bergkemper. Sent right back to midfield. Back there is Abby Hansen, one of the 3 captains for head coach Sean Sullivan.
Pewaukee's done a really nice job of pressing. Anytime Brookfield Central's won the ball, Pewaukee's their offensive players, everybody's been right on that ball trying to win it back, and they've done a nice job in these first 5 minutes of this game is keeping the pressure on full field.
Throwing there for Brigham. Number 2 on the team is scoring. Very balanced attack for the Lancers, led by the play of Dylan Romero. She sports jersey 17. Addie Bergkemper here against Brigham. Vanessa Johnson blessed with a great deal of speed, and that was on display, especially early yesterday. Had a couple of shots, picked up 1 assist in the 3-1 semifinal victory. Terneski on the cross right there in front with Vanessa Johnson. Terneski and down the boulevard with the header there for Vanessa Johnson, nearly putting Pewaukee on the board.
Ooh, if Johnson could have just gotten her head up a little bit and gotten that ball to go down, she had the right idea. You put it back where it comes from. If you're trying to score, you want to hit it low. She just wasn't able to get over the top of it. Nice ball by Terneski across.
Brigham got a blow by on the outside against Abby Hansen. Now trying to turn that corner. Brigham getting up after the ball, sending it across the Flex. Well, they're going to call it out of bounds. Deflected off the hands of Allison Dykstra.
I was just going to say, I thought that ball went, obviously we don't have the greatest view here, but on screen it looked like that ball went completely over that end line, so then it's out. It's got to go over all the way.
Brookfield Central at state, number 2 seed among the 4 to qualify in Division II, ranked 3rd In the final D2 state ranking, finishing in 4th place in the always competitive Greater Metro Conference. Looking up at Germantown, who took 3rd. Brookfield East taking 2nd in DSHA. They finished number 1, finishing also number 1 in the final D1 state rankings. Bergman on the pass that finds Megan Roush. And Roush knocked away by Peyton Stading. Got away after it deflected off the knee of Dylan Romero. Running to the near side does Rossi. Longest near touchline. That's knocked out of play off of Sarah Stewart. I'm going to say instead off of Pirates, so Stewart's going to get the opportunity to throw it in here for the Lancers.
Nice patience by Brookfield Central. Patient in that attacking third, trying to work those combinations. Not trying to rush it into the box, looking for the best opportunity.
Craddock on the cross. Getting out in front there is Megan Roush. Clearance here for Pewaukee. That finds the Lancers bench area. They're back in the championship game for the 8th time in 15 state appearances. The 15 state appearances tied for 3rd most in the WIAA with Nina. This being their first since 2018. And looking for state championship number 7. They've been a runner-up just once. That was in 1992 against Homestead, 3-0. Craddock. And coming over, Allison Dykstra. Only a freshman. And 5'9", solid skills according to Coach Sullivan. Great work ethic. Her potential unlimited because of her work ethic according to the coaching staff. And she is coming off a 1-goal allowed, 4-save performance yesterday.
Well, you just saw that punt, Matt. I know the wind is at her back a little bit, but she just punted it over a half. She's got a strong leg. It's definitely an asset for any goaltender. You've seen Brookfield Central's game plan. They're really direct, trying to go forward, trying to really pressure that Pewaukee defense.
Swung again there by Elena Terneski. With a step in front, Ellie Bennett. It is NAIA Marion in Indiana. This being her just completed junior season in the midfield. Gonna wrestle it away, Kylie Ramaker. Taken right back by Brookfield Central. 11th minute in this Division II championship matchup. A couple of teams have not seen each other since they met for a sectional semifinal in 2023. That was a 6-1 rout by Pewaukee.
Well, you know, Brookfield Central Lancers is going to try and make sure that doesn't happen again.
They also met in the playoffs back in 2022. Brookfield Central knocking off Pewaukee 3-2. That also was a sectional semifinal. It is, again, we look at history between these two teams. They have met in a sectional semifinal 3 times since 2021. As 2021 was a 4-1 victory for Brookfield Central over the Pewaukee Pirates, now meeting for a golden ball.
Hannah Sorkness wins the corner kick for the Pewaukee Pirates. Anytime you can win a corner kick for your team, that's a bonus. Eddie Burkemper is going to take it. Again, going into the wind a little bit. Want to drive it low.
And that far end, Vanessa Johnson. Long run across the field and hopping right back up. Elena Terneski draws the foul, but great hustle from across the field for the junior defender.
Terneski just flying and finding that ball, getting tripped. That's what Pewaukee needed on those 2 crosses. First of all, the corner kick, nobody on the back post. Then the ball gets played back again to the opposite post, nobody on that post. They really need to flood that zone. They've had a couple balls in there that have been dangerous, but nobody on the end of them.
On the free kick, Addie Burkemper. 3-player wall for the Lancers. Burkemper. Far side. You had Vanessa Johnson, ball flies out, goal kick, Brookfield Central.
Just a little bit too much height on that. Ball hung up too long. Allows the defense to adjust, get underneath it. Potentially your goalie to come out and grab it. You really want to drive those low, head high. It really favors the offensive team as they are tracking to the goal.
Knocked out by Chernesky. On this near side with Dylan Romero. Lancers throw in. And Chernesky will send it out of play. The officials in this Division II championship matchup: Daniel Haskell from Racine, James Walter from Delafield, and Matt Sumner from Grafton, the two ARs. A look there from deep as Kara Delisle and putting some pressure on Dykstra. We stay scoreless here in the 14th.
Easy play for Dykstra, and Allison, being only just having finished her freshman year. Some easy ones like that help her get into the game, gain some confidence, and that will only benefit her later.
Early on, both teams with one shot. So far, Brookfield Central lone shot on goal taken there by Kara Delisle. Running it down. Bergkemper off the left cleat and sent backwards. Out there in front again was Kara Delisle.
Again, great ball by Bergkemper. She's got to get teammates making those runs, anticipating that that ball's coming in. They got to take off before it's played. Right now, when Bergkemper plays it, that's when they're leaving. They got to leave sooner than that so they can get on the end of. Those are some excellent crosses she has played.
So a corner kick here for Addie Bergkemper.
And if you're Brookfield Central, you know she wants to get it to her left foot. That's her best one. So you got to keep her going right.
Look at that bend. Headed. Great opportunity. That came the direction of Kylie Ramaker. And coming up with the ball, Annie Robinson.
It sort of looked like one of the defenders cleared that off the back line. Yep, right there. Sort of hit her shoulder, cleared it out.
Yeah, right there with the team save, Kara Delisle. And another look. Out it comes here again with Delisle, but good pressure being put on here. The Pewaukee Pirates making things happen. As we stay scoreless in this portion of the 2025 WIAA Girls Soccer Championships is brought to you by Wisconsin DOT.
Nice save by Annie Robinson. The ball was dipping a little bit. She played it safe, made sure she parried it off to the side. Kept her team in possession.
Break here in the 16th minute. Another look. His last opportunity that came from Ella Opie. Save there for Annie Robinson. That came after a solid opportunity for Kylie Ramaker. So hydration break on this very hot Saturday in Milwaukee as we check out the Road to State. That's presented by Rural Mutual for Pewaukee out of the Woodland West. See the record. They've won a season best 5 straight. Their playoff run, a regional final victory over Waukesha North. Knocked off Waukesha West in the sectional semifinal before knocking off Berlin Eisenhower in a sectional final. Alliance team that's been to state 8 times, including 3 consecutive from 2001 through 2023 and won a Division III championship in 2022. A look at the Road to State presented by Rural Mutual for Brookfield Central out of the Greater Metro Conference. Right now with the 13 victories, knocking off Sheboygan South and Slinger for a regional championship. Nicolay Pulaski for a sectional championship, beating Pulaski 2-0 from Plymouth. Pulaski upsetting number 1 Plymouth in a sectional semifinal. 1-0 Plymouth team that certainly has had a great deal of success winning the last 2 Division III state championships.
Matt, sort of what we expected. Both teams have sort of played it safe, but last five minutes or so, things have picked up a little bit. We had some nice crosses, from Brookfield Central, and then here in the last couple of minutes, Pewaukee has really put the pressure on and put Annie Robinson and the Brookfield Central goal to work. So we'll see if the teams can continue that here as we move on here after our water break in the first half.
It's Ian Bennett, the Milwaukee Wave, supporting the Pewaukee girls soccer program. In the 16th minute, Bennett playing indoor with the Waves since 2009.
Whoa, that's a long time.
The play resumes here from Eli Soccer Park. Abby Hansen. Cherneski. Back there was Craddock, Burkemper. Now the one touch there involving Ella Opie. It's coming off field. Cherneski having to go back after as it rolls out of play.
It's been the story of the last 5 minutes of this half. Pewaukee Pirates in control, keeping the ball in the Brookfield Central end, connecting a lot of passes and being dangerous. A lot of defending here by Brookfield Central. They haven't been able to clear the ball out, haven't been able to get the ball up to their forwards.
Another Lancers throw. What a difference a year makes. Brookfield Central bringing back a number of players, but this was a team that last year was 4-9-3. 1-6-1. 8th place among 9 in the Greater Metro Conference. Lost in a sectional semifinal against Kenosha Tremper, 1-0. A 9-win improvement so far a year later. And again, back here at state for the first time in 7 years.
Well, Matt, maybe that was a good indication that they won their 2, maybe 3 regional games, won that regional final, made it to that sectional semifinal last year. Sign of things to come, as you could tell throughout a difficult season against a tough schedule. They kept getting better and better, and now you see the fruits of all that hard work.
Bringing back 2 of 4 all-conference performers. Still, on paper, a younger team only with 3 seniors on the roster at 21. 7 freshmen, 4 sophomores, 7 juniors. But of course, usually around here when you think soccer, Brookfield certainly one of the towns that comes to mind. They've produced some great programs, boys and girls soccer throughout the many years. We've seen Brookfield Central, Brookfield East, and Brookfield Academy, various state soccer tournaments. Addie Burkemper with a goal kick coming up here for the Lancers here in the 19th minute.
Addie Burkemper has been very active. She's given us the most action, crosses, shots on goal here for the Pirates in the first half.
See, getting that pass right back. Set up that attempt from Opie. It only a matter of time for Pewaukee to qualify here for state. They've been close many times, but not been able to get to this state tournament prior. They won 11 games last year, 16 wins back in 2023. Last couple of years, ran into Whitefish Bay in the sectional final round. Lost in a shootout last year after losing in regulation to the Blue Dukes in 2023.
Well, it's one of those roadblocks, those teams you seem like you just keep running into and you just can't get over that hump. Whitefish Bay wasn't in the way this year, and they were able to get to state for the first time.
He has been very focused. Coach Sullivan said that we've been goal-driven right from the end of last season at the banquet. Been focused on doing everything we can as a team to make history, make it to the state tournament. Here they are, a special group, as he calls it, a special group of players coming back this spring. And again, since 2013, have made it to the sectional final game 5 times, losing 4 of those 5 in shootouts, and the other one, as we mentioned, back in 2023 by a single goal.
And that's where you just got to figure one of these years, you keep giving yourself that opportunity, putting yourself in that sectional final game. You figure one of these years we're going to break through. We're going to break through. We're going to break through. And maybe after that many, you wonder if you are. And here they are, finally breaking through. And hopefully for the Pewaukee Pirates, this is just the beginning of breakthroughs and opportunities in the state tournament.
One of the luxuries for the Pirates, getting the opportunity to host the sectional final. They're going to host no matter what. First time since 2013, but they still happen to be in it. Craddock. And back behind the ball is Elena Cherneski, given right back. Charlotte Vaughn. She started the scoring for Brookfield Central yesterday in the 40th minute, right before halftime. 20 seconds to spare. In fact, Lancers got 2 goals right before, one at the end of the first half, one at the end of the second half. Christian touches on what was a strong showing in which the Lancers outshot Sauk Prairie 28-1, 15-1. Shots on goal. The lone shot for Sauk Prairie came very late. That was a defensive-minded team that was back here at state. Vaughn out there in front. Oh, it's blocked. Hansen got a piece of it. Megan Rouse with the look. Off of Abby Hansen, who helps out Allison Dykstra, who now comes up with the ball.
Nice ball by Charlotte Vaughn. Getting to it on the end line, bringing it across, playing a hard ball across the goal. That is never a bad idea.
Right off the backside of Abby Hansen. On the windup there from Megan Roush.
And Dykstra might have saved the goal right away by parrying that ball out. It obviously turned into a scramble after that, but she got a hand on it right away because there was a Lancer sitting at the back post waiting for it.
As mentioned, that all started with Charlotte Vaughn. Stating. And played across. Ellie Bennett.
Yeah, that's my favorite ball, that ball across the face of the goal. It's always so dangerous. And anything can happen because now you've got goalies got to be making choices. Defenders have to be making split-second decisions. And just wreaking havoc because all sorts of things can go wrong or go haywire when you do that as a team.
So right now, the Lancers out of the back during the 23rd minute. Up that far side, trying to connect with Vanessa Johnson. Another throw in here for Pewaukee. So Ellie Bennett making her way off the field. Out there again defensively is Brigham. Put out of the air. Collision with Bergkamper along with Annie Robinson. Those two collide. And the whistle here against Addie Bergkamper. See it swung across, that by number 21, Opie, and then Bergkamper going right there with Robinson going airborne, a little forearm. And
didn't really look like she was going for the ball, did it? Nice play by Annie Robinson coming out strong. Bergkamper, we keep mentioning her name, Addie Bergkamper. She's been very active in this first half, doing a nice job. Nose is always around the ball. There's another example.
Yeah, left winger. Look carries over for Charlotte Vaughn. Addie Bergkamper works tirelessly. Not only very physical, but also very technically sound. Charlotte Vaughn, we've seen her play awfully well over the last couple of days. And came off the bench, provided a nice spark for the attack yesterday with 3 shots, 2 on goal, 1 that went in. Has made some nice runs up this left side already in this first half.
Well, I was going to say, Vaughn's come alive here in this first half. The last 3-4 minutes, she's just had some opportunities, added an extra dimension to the Lancers' attack. Extra element of danger with her speed, that left foot.
overcame Bree Delisle. Thrown there by Vanessa Johnson. And again right there with Anya Brigham. Johnson will throw it in. One of the shady spots on the field here at the Eline Soccer Park.
I was just thinking that same thing.
Prime real estate. Bergkamper in front. Gets slowed up there by Charlotte Vaughn.
Wonder if it's ain't cooler over there, Matt.
It's going to be cooler up here pretty soon with that sun.
I'm hoping so.
Sun going down here at the Eline Soccer Park. This portion of the 2025 WIAA Girls Soccer Championship is brought to you by Rural Mutual Insurance.
Nice combination play by the Lancers there. They've done a nice job once this game has gone on. Possessing, making Pewaukee defend more. That's one way to slow a team down, especially Pewaukee in those opening minutes of this half. Had a lot of momentum. Brookfield Central's managed to slow that down with their possession game.
Play back there with Charlotte Gaunt, the sophomore defender. It will stand her ground well yesterday against Sauk Prairie. And Sauk Prairie was back here at state out of that Badger Small. They've been to state 5 times. First time they were at state, they did not play Whitefish Bay. They're 0-4, all against Whitefish Bay, including prior to the turn of the century, and yet not been able to avoid the Blue Dukes.
That's the way it goes sometimes. There's always that one team that just seems to always stand in your way. Well, they took advantage now that Whitefish Bay wasn't standing in the way, and here they are.
Sauk Prairie, though, again, still looking for that first win at the state tournament following the 4 losses to the Blue Dukes and had a 3-0 setback to Brookfield Central. New head coach Julie Grutzner had great success with Oregon, which included a state championship back in 2015. Change here with Bennett back in. And this to be put back into play again by the Lancers. Starting to get in that window once again with another hydration break to come. We talked about earlier Ian Bennett being here and daughter Ellie Bennett headed to NAIA Marion, same school as Ian. He played with that program in Indiana from 2003 through 2006. Swung back into play by Charlotte Vaughn. Rossi coming out again with Cherneski. Taken away by Opie. And give it right back as Gaunt will leave it back to elude the oncoming pressure from Bennett. Bennett sends it ahead. Bergkamper.
Nice ball by Bennett. Bergkamper's been really lively in this first half.
Has an option to her left, going that route of Sorkness. See the defense with Delisle realizing. And Kylie Ramaker puts some pressure on Annie Robinson.
Good idea by Bergkamper. Just played it forward a little too much for Sorkness. She had the right thought. Had Sorkness on the overlap, just played the diagonal a little bit too far.
Vaughn through the middle, one touch back. Passed off by Bella Perez. Saw a great possession from Brookfield Central yesterday, in which it seemed like anytime they had the ball, they moved that ball around, everybody got a touch before they would start pushing forward. Not forcing the issue as Brigham into the hands of Allison Dykstra.
That's how Brookfield Central started taking control of this game, by slowing it down a little bit. They were being a little more direct early on. They've slowed it down, used the width of the field, and that's really played into their favor.
Bergkamper And now Opie. So it's kicked out. We're in the 31st and a hydration break. No score in this Division II championship matchup between the Greater Metro Conference's Brookfield Central Lancers and the Woodland West Pewaukee Pirates. So no score here in the 31st.
Five WIAA Girls State Soccer Championships, live from Uline Soccer Park in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This WIAA sports exclusive is brought to you state.
From the Uline Soccer Park here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, alongside Eric Shazer. My name is Matt Mendel. Division II championship matchup is scoreless here in the 31st. Shots are at 5-3 Pewaukee, 3-2 Pirates, and shots on goal as we wrap up Championship Saturday.
Matt, it's been a pretty back and forth game in this first half. Neither team has really taken control. They've both done some good things. They both struggled at times to maintain possession and momentum. I think it's going to come down to whichever team can make that magic, get that goal. I haven't seen enough from either team to make it look like they're going to be able to come back. We'll see what happens. Who can nick that first goal? And it's going to be a matter of, can they hang on to it? Is the other team able to put enough pressure on offensively in that attacking third? We've seen a few good things from both. Just not enough finishing, not enough bodies in the box to get on the end of those passes.
For the Pirates coming into the state tournament, 16 players with goals, all between 1 and 13 apiece. For Brookfield Central, 12 players with goals, all between 1 and 10. So it's one of those where, again, everybody's got the ability to finish. They don't have that one go-to constant goal scorer. So from a defensive standpoint for the opposition, boy, it's tough to try to defend and scout, for that matter, as to where to really focus in on.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that's tough. Would you rather have that one person who's scoring all the goals, or would you rather have, goals spread out? Sometimes you run into the, well, who actually is going to score then? You don't have that one dominant player, that one dominant mindset where they are going to goal, and they obviously are excellent finishers. So that can be, there's pros and cons to each situation. We've got two teams here that have, goals spread out among a lot of people, and there's no really one go-to. And so far we haven't seen, other than Addie Burkemper, really anybody who's really looking like they got a nose for that goal.
Well, Burkemper looking here against Robinson. She is one of the two on the Pirates roster that has scored 10 or more, joining Vanessa Johnson.
And Johnson had a good opportunity early on that corner kick. Got her head on it, put it over the top, but that was a really good opportunity.
Looking forward to Abby Hansen. Pirates foul. So a free kick coming up here for Brookfield Central will be set up here by Rossi. See Allie Schnetsky downfield for the Lancers. And put back into play by Bree Delisle on that free kick. Near side with Charlotte Vaughn. And a goal kick here for the Pirates.
I would say for Brookfield Central, Charlotte Vaughn right there, she's been the most dangerous. Number 5, number 10 is Bree Delisle. Those have been the two names we've mentioned the most. They've been the most dangerous for Brookfield Central, and each side, it just sort of seems like nobody can get into a consistent rhythm. It's for a few minutes they're controlling and doing what they want, and then all of a sudden nothing for a few minutes, and neither team can really find that rhythm. It's sort of been fits and starts for each team. A few minutes here where things are going well and they're doing what they want to do, and then just the opposite.
See on the outside here with Madison Clifton. Trying to get back up, does. Being pestered, though, by Elena Ehlert. That rolls out of play. The Pirates throwing here for Hannah Sorkness.
Nice job by Madison Clifton. Really getting after it over there. Ran into a defender. Ball got knocked away. She got up, went after it again. That's kind of relentlessness that every coach likes to see in their players.
Inside of 7 minutes left here in this first half. And a couple of teams finishing 3 and 5 respectively in the Division II state rankings. Plymouth moved up a division, finishing number 1. Union Grove number 2. Monona Grove number 4. That was a team that lost in a sectional semifinal to Sauk Prairie 2-1. And of course, the big story this year, as far as Division II goes, is the fact that Oregon Whitefish Bay got bumped up to Division I. They had played for a Division II title each of the last 3 years. This being the second Stanton moment as that one's kicked out of play, but this is the first time since 2014 the Division II championship match does not feature Whitefish Bay and or Oregon, since we saw Wanakee over Waukesha West 11 years back.
And Matt, if I'm not mistaken, both Oregon and Whitefish Bay made it to their sectional finals, right, in D1. So it just shows you the quality of those two programs.
In front right there for the Lancers was Madison Clifton.
That's one of those. We've seen enough of those. We've had nice balls played in on both sides, and just nobody willing to go get it and get on the end of it.
You look at Whitefish Bay, Robbie Dubinsky always does a great job coaching that Blue Dukes team, gets the most out of that talent regardless, year in, year out. They're right there. Again, making that move up to Division I, had been at state 5 consecutive years. And Oregon, 9 straight state appearances. First time they're not here since 2014.
Now, Matt, do you remember how long does that stay in Division I last? Is that a 3-year, like a 3-year period of time? Where they, redo all that, refigure all that?
I think it's a 3-year window.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure.
See, I'm just one of those. I look at the bracket, it comes out, figure out who's who, move on.
It's complicated. We're
That's
we're not
beyond my pay.
Yeah, we're not into math, so
trying to figure that all out.
Takes a degree to figure that out.
We were talking about it last game. You look at a team like Catholic Memorial, and so now all of a sudden, after back-to-back state tournament appearances, they're making the move up now to Division II come next year. You got some teams that are moving down. But a throw in here again for the Pirates.
And a team we mentioned, Oregon, Whitefish Bay, Catholic Memorial, teams like that. You take that as a challenge. Moving up against some bigger schools that we can compete with.
Well, we've said a lot of the teams that have made the move have held their own.
Yeah, exactly.
So you think maybe they're going to struggle? No. They look at Kiel from Division 4 to Division 3, and they were able to bust through and get to the state tournament.
Exactly.
4th straight and overall appearance for the Raiders. So again, near side for the Lancers here with Charlotte Vaughn. Flipping it over to be handled here by Brigham. Late stages first half. 4th and final game today. 12th and final game of the 42nd WIAA Girls Soccer State Tournament.
Again, neither team has really made an impact on this game. It's just sort of each team has been content with a little back and forth. Nothing too threatening. Some good crosses. Nobody's been able to get on the end of them.
Pass over to Bergkamper. That's going to hop, skip, and bounce its way to Annie Robinson.
Rather ambitious from Bergkamper. I think she was hoping for a little more than a two-hopper into the goalie. So they got to take it to that level, but now keep working those combinations and get into that box.
Perez out the wing. And Brigham Rossi will fire from a great distance. Catch made there by Dijkstra.
See, both teams, I think you're happy. If the other team is content with shooting from 35, 40 yards out, you would take that all day. So going into halftime, both coaches want to talk to their teams about being patient. Don't settle for that 35-yard shot. We've worked it this far, possessed it this far. Let's keep attacking in that final third. And that's a difficult thing to do. Otherwise, everybody would do it well.
A little too much on that pass. That was intended for Ella Opie.
Again, there's another nice ball, nice diagonal into the box, but nobody running across that pace to get onto the end of it, or at least cause some trouble with it. Just haven't seen that urgency to connect at the end of some really nice crosses and through balls from both sides.
Whistle here is going to go against the Lancers as we near a minute left here in this first half. See Opie on the ball. 7-5 Pewaukee in shots, 4-3 shots on goal. Not a real physical first half. If you look at the foul differential, we did see one big collision in front involving Addie Bergkemper along with Annie Robinson.
Yeah, it has not been very physical at all.
You know, we talked about, too, Alex Bergkemper getting the 2 yellow cards equaling the red. When that occurred yesterday, the Pirates, locked in a 1-1 battle against River Falls, came out and scored twice, a player down.
Yeah, sometimes maybe there's that added incentive, right?
See Bennett, and a rebound possibility for Slender. Final seconds will tick away as Robinson and company will send it away. So we have reached halftime on this very hot, although it's starting to cool off a little bit with that breeze. Saturday here in Milwaukee. Wrapping up championship Saturday here in Division II. Again, the Brookfield Central Lancers out of the Greater Metro Conference and the Woodland West Pewaukee Pirates. We'll come back with more of our halftime report in a moment, but now a message from your local station. This is your WIAA network affiliate. No score here at halftime. This Division II championship matchup between Pewaukee and Brookfield Central. Now let's hear from one of our statewide network partners, Menards. Halftime in Milwaukee with no score. Pewaukee and Brookfield Central for the 2025 Division II Girls Soccer Championship. A look at the highlights for the opening 40. Early on with Brigham sending it across off the hands of Dijkstra, but she had gone out of bounds. Good header opportunity with Ramaker. Watch Vaughn. This is one of the better scoring chances for Brookfield Central right here. Deflected off a Hansen after the blast there by Megan Rauch.
Matt, that's been the story of this game. We've had a lot of good crosses, a lot of good balls across the face of the goal, but nobody to get on the end of them to put them away.
Some physical play in front involving Bergkemper and Robinson. But at the break, it is scoreless. Shots were 8-5. Pirates 5-3 in shots on goal. 5-2 Pewaukee in fouls. And there have been 3 combined corner kicks.
And Matt, you look at those stats and you can see it's been a pretty even match so far. Neither team has really taken control, and honestly, neither team has been very threatening. It's just one of those, like we said, nobody getting on it. We've had some threatening balls, but nobody on the end of them to make the goalies really work. Those saves, 5 and 3 for the most part, have been pretty easy.
Each team has played 14 to this point. So the second half is coming up here. Pewaukee, Brookfield Central. But first, a message from your local station. This is your WIAA network affiliates. Out of the second half we go in this 2025 Division II Girls Soccer State Championship. Pewaukee and Brookfield Central meeting for the first time in a couple of seasons, or this time with a championship on the line. Pewaukee at state for the first time. Lancers at state for the 15th time, first time in 7 years, looking for championship number 7. And their first is winning back-to-back in 2017-2018. They won a D1 title in 2017 over Bayport 3-0, and a Division II championship in 2018 against Oregon 2-0. And Eric, there you go. There you go. Business is booming right now at the lemonade stand.
Kettle corn, not so much, but the lemonade is going like hotcakes over there. People are willing to take the walk. It's a little bit of a trek there.
It's also cooled off a little bit.
Yeah, it has. It has. It's not so hot. It's cooler up here in the booth. You've stopped sweating, I've noticed.
To me, it's all mindset.
It wasn't hot. It's all in your head. It's all in your head.
Well, the Lancers about to kick off this second half. Rossi on the ball. Again, we thank you for joining us on this Saturday throughout for coverage of the 42nd WIAA Girls Soccer State Tournament. And again, we thank our crew. Great job, one and all, behind the scenes, in the truck, out here, and around this field, bringing you the sights and sounds of these 4 games under what has been an extreme day weather-wise, and still right now under what is an extreme heat warning. Megan Roush had a great look in that first half. Now Elena Chernesky.
Chernesky was very actively involved early. And then Addie Burkemper sort of took over that activity, dominated the ball a lot, played a lot of nice balls across. They need to just get more than just 1 or 2 all at the same time.
Right there on the doorstep of Robinson. Vanessa Johnson, a focal point in front there for Pewaukee. And now pressure being applied here by Burkemper. This portion of the 2025 WIAA Girls Soccer Championship is brought to you by Menards.
Looking for one of these 2 teams to really put their imprint on this game, really sort of take hold of it. Neither team has. It's just sort of been sort of a back and forth.
Well, here's Johnson. Cuts back. Well, out in front you had Hannah Sorkness.
I don't know if she was shooting. Looked like she had a pass opportunity there.
Great chance there for Kylie Ramaker. So Ramaker now 3 shots to her credit. Addie Burkemper with 3 shots to her credit, and a couple of shots taken by Ella Opie for the Pirates.
And Matt, we talked about that earlier in the first half, is, you know, they don't have one dominant scorer. What does that mean? Does that just means they're so unselfish and you got to keep an eye on everybody? Or does that mean that not everybody is a confident finisher? And so far, we've sort of seen that. It doesn't seem like anybody right now, anyway, has been all that confident out in front of the goal. We've had some opportunities and just haven't really put anything on frame. As we said, the goalies haven't really had to do anything too difficult.
At the break, Robinson credited with 4 saves, couple of saves for Allison Dykstra. Abby Hansen drawing the foul. Dylan Romero looking for her first shot of this state championship matchup. Guilty of this foul.
I was going to say, Dylan Romero is Brookfield Central's leading scorer. We haven't really mentioned her. In the whole first half, we didn't mention her. Just never really got on the end of things and wasn't dangerous out in front of the goal.
Well, shut down to some degree yesterday, too, against Sauk Prairie.
And that's why having that dominant goal scorer, again, there's pros and cons to anything, but, you know, they have that scoring mindset. And that will that I am going to drive the ball to the goal, whereas somebody who does a lot of things well Dylan Romero scoring, assisting. You know, sometimes they're a little too passive out in front of the goal because they're looking to do other things.
Going on field here for Johnson. Johnson getting boxed out. Bree Delisle slowing her down. Pick up for Robinson.
Nice job by Delisle. Keeping it in front.
Ball rolls away from the Lancers. Looking on for Brookfield Central, Dan Mackel, the Lancers head coach. A couple of decades. Boy, look, Coach Mackel, a couple of girls soccer championships, also a boys title in Division II back in 2019. It was a shootout win over crosstown rival Brookfield East. Another one of those matches you probably won't see maybe ever again, but very unique back at the time when a couple of schools separated by about 3 miles played for a golden ball.
Like you said, man, a lot of good soccer players in that Brookfield area. Men and women, and we've seen that here at the state tournament among the high schools there.
Takeaway for Johnson. Will fire and a save again for Robinson.
Good defensive pressure. Johnson just wasn't able to get a good look on, get a good foot on it. Looks like she almost sort of has to toe it. Again, probably would have liked, looked like she had a little opening there. Would have liked to do a little more with that. And again, that goes back to you don't have anybody who's that like clinical finisher. We've seen that in this game. Just the couple opportunities we have had, they just haven't had that clinical finish. It looked like she had just a little window of opening there to really do something with that ball and make that really challenging.
Stewart fouled by Bergkamper. As Sean Sullivan looks on for Pewaukee. He's been the head coach a couple of different stints. He was the varsity coach. He was the varsity coach at Pewaukee in 1998. There he is. Coached for 3 years. As a civil engineer. Couldn't devote enough time to the varsity team, so he stepped down, took over the JV team, was a varsity assistant. But then took back over the controls in 2013. He's also the assistant varsity boys coach and JV boys head coach in the fall, and has been in those roles since 1998. But a couple of different stints, 16 seasons.
That's a lot of soccer coaching. Oh, nice combination.
Oh, what a blast! Dylan Romero, 47th minute, and a 1-0 lead for Brookfield Central.
And Matt, that's exactly what we said. Don't settle for that 30-yarder. Keep working those combinations inside that attacking third, inside the box. And here we mentioned Dylan Romero after she scores that all-important goal. Look at this nice combination play. That's what we've been talking about. Neither team had worked it, for the most part, that deep into the attacking third. And look what happens.
Quiet no longer. No shots yesterday. No shots until now, today. And she comes through with her team leading 11th on the year. The Lancers striking first here in the 47th minute. This is one of the concerns that Coach Sullivan had, and it came to life yesterday as well in the semi against River Falls. He said, how do we react when scored upon? We now 13 wins on the year. Well, when you look at their previous 12 wins, they had 12 shutouts. So we have not yet to give up a goal to a Division II team this season. So win or if we get scored on, we need to focus on keeping our heads up and not letting up. And certainly that was the case yesterday. Falling behind a goal in the first half, came back with a outstanding second half showing, scoring 3 times to come out with the 3-1 result.
And maybe yesterday that was just the impetus that Pewaukee Pirates needed, was to really kick it into gear, that desperation. Okay, we're down in the state semifinal. We need to score some goals. Now they find themselves down in the championship game. They handled the adversity well yesterday. How are they going to handle it today? Are we going to see that desperation being down in the championship game for the gold ball? You're in the second half. You need to score.
Don't dive in, Sarah.
The assist for Megan Roush. Now the Pirates trying to respond. Right there in front, the header goes over for Sorkness.
Again, I'd like to see that again. I'd like to see Hannah Sorkness try and put it back where it came from, if possible. Might have been a little too high. She couldn't get behind it. It was a great ball. It's just a little bit too high. She couldn't really get behind it.
Throwing coming up for the Pirates.
Well, we were wondering,
Mackel looking on.
how would the Pirates respond? Well, there you go. You got your answer. Nice ball, opportunity off the crossbar. You just got to keep after it.
Over 200 wins to his credit. Mentioned the 2 titles when they were here in 2017, 2018. Before that, the Lancers won 4 consecutive D1 championships from 2002 through 2005 under then head coach Brian Yenner. Bergkamper through the middle and sent away. Headed there for a second by Bergkamper. And the Lancers having to take it away from behind. Nice move there by Bennett. She goes down and the foul is going to go against Katie Craddock. So opportunity here for Pewaukee in the 50th minute.
I'd like to see that one again. I'm not so sure. But anyway, doesn't matter. The Pirates have a set play. Here we go. Well, she loses the ball. That's always frustrating. I don't know about that one.
Vaughn eluding Bennett. Picked off on the far side with Terneski. Again, Vaughn will throw it in here for Brookfield Central in the 50th minute. Another Division II state championship matchup. A goal from Dylan Romero in the 47th as the Lancers on the board first.
And you mentioned Coach Sullivan for Pewaukee being worried, how are we going to handle, some adversity? And, well, yesterday they did a nice job. What about Brookfield Central? Going up by a goal. You got to handle that, too. There's pressure in that. Now the other team has a sense of desperation. How are you going to handle that? Are you going to continue to possess and be patient and smart and all those things and not panic when it seems like the other team may have the upper hand or there's a scramble or something? Still keep playing smart attacking soccer.
Corner kick number 2 here for the Lancers.
It's a temptation to just relax a little bit and you don't even realize it.
Okay, both teams have now taken a couple of corners. And here will come another. Here will come another for the Lancers as kick back out there. That by Charlotte Vaughn. And a corner kick to be taken by Katie Craddock. The All-Continental mention 2024 in the Greater Metro Conference. Not the direction of Charlotte Vaughn.
Nice job by Vaughn trying to play it to that back post. That's a danger area on any set play. If you can get your head on it, skip it across. You're on the near post, skip it to that back post. That's usually a dead zone. If you can get an attacking player back there, it's usually a goal.
Sent out by Brigham. She gets back beyond the right cleat of Peyton Stading. And now Vanessa Johnson. With that speed, not much room to work with. Path cut off. Sent out by Kara Delisle.
Nice job by Delisle. She's been solid all game. Very physical defender, smart defender.
Bennett going back to the outside. Some time here for Terneski. And Bergkamper right back out. Terneski will send it across. You had Hannah Sorkness up top. Right back to Stading. Sent to midfield. And tracked down by the Pirates. Abby Hansen. Still early stages here in half number 2. Our final game here on Championship Saturday already. It's been a heck of a day of soccer that began with championship game determined in a shootout. Opie. Rossi.
Again for Pewaukee right now, just too much one-on-one, trying to take on 2 or 3 defenders. Really need to do what Brookfield Central did, score their goals. Look for those combinations. You're getting pressure from 1 or 2. Make that pass. Make that pass. Get out of pressure. Move to space to get that pass back. Pirates just look a little discombobulated right now.
And we'll make a change to their lineup, which we'll see Sophia Betts sub in. Betts taking the spot of Stading. Looking for fresh energy out of the field.
And this is her first entry into the game, I believe.
Okay, both teams playing a total of 14 in that first half. And the foul's going to go against Bennett. This portion of the 2025 WIAA Girls Soccer Championships is brought to you by the Wisconsin DOT. Just 4 shots on goal for the Lancers, but one of those good enough for this 1-goal lead. Milwaukee overall is +5 in shots at 12-7.
It's the best shot we've had all day. Dylan Romero, clinical finish, drilled it into the corner.
Too far ahead there for Romero on the cut. We've talked all about many teams, and when you look at their body of work and who they schedule in non-conference on top of conference play, Brookfield Central certainly, they have a challenging slate. Pewaukee, that's by design. And Coach Sullivan not shying away from good competition. Played Whitefish Bay, second match of the season. Played New Bern Eisenhower. At one point losing 3 straight with Cedarburg, Brookfield East, and then played some out-of-state competition. The tournament champions in Bettendorf, Iowa. At Oregon. Played Muskego. Played Arrowhead. A couple of teams here at State. Muskego, of course, bringing home another D1 championship. A 4-peat for the Muskego Warriors. And he feels like strength of schedule is everything. He puts a lot of emphasis on that strength of schedule. Doesn't necessarily take losses as hard as maybe some would at various points of the year, because he wants this team to learn from those contests. He says if you lose, who cares? Learn from those games, embrace the challenge, embrace the opportunity, and then you hope that challenging slate then pays off in the long run, and this year it finally did.
And man, as you talk about that, we talked about it in our open leading into the playoffs. Lost 4-0 to Muskego, 2-0 to Arrowhead. And then last regular season game was a victory over Whitnall, and then they've been rolling since then. So, they took their lumps there for a couple of games and learned from those opportunities. And then all of a sudden you're playing teams that aren't as tough as you get into the playoffs, and that experience pays off.
A hydration break here in the 56th. And you're right, they've only allowed but a goal over the last, now count it, 5 matchups, 5+ matchups. All since that 2-0 setback against Arrowhead on May the 23rd. To wrap up the 42nd WIAA Girls Soccer State Tournament, to look at what we've seen already here on Championship. Saturday, mentioned Muskego, a 4-peat. Third school to do that now in state tournament history. Outlasting Madison West, who was able to tie the game late. In the shootout, it was 3-0, 4 rounds. That for Muskego. We saw in Division 4, Xavier. Their first state championship in 2008 in a battle of the Crusaders in Division 3. Catholic Memorial, what an action-packed first 10 minutes of that second half of that game that was tied at 1 at the break. We saw a combined 4 goals in about a 4-minute, 44-second span early in half number 2, as Catholic Memorial is back atop in their respective division with that championship, the first under head coach Andy Davi.
And that Catholic Memorial Edgewood game really delivered on the fireworks. We talked about a lot of goals being scored. Well, they gave it to us and then some. An exciting game just from beginning to end. A lot of opportunities. Catholic Memorial just played really, really well.
Asked that question in one of the other games about you take a timeout, so to speak, during these water breaks. Do you as a coach use this to talk strategy and go over various happenings here in this matchup? And obviously it was clear on that one shot that Dan Mackel is certainly taking this as a coaching opportunity.
Yeah, he's got his team up 1-0. There's a lot they need to take care of yet. You don't want to take your foot off the gas. You still want to keep pushing, but you got to be smart about it. Now that you've got that lead, you got to be smart about it. You can't leave yourself short in the back. Find yourself outnumbered in the back. Got to be careful of the counterattack. But sometimes that's the trouble when you have teams that don't have that one dominant scorer. They don't necessarily have that kind of lethal counterattack either, because you don't have that one person who's just hunting goals.
Brigham in. As play resumes off Hansen, off Roush, and Ramaker. Get a throw here for the Lancers. As Brigham directing the Lancer attack. We're trying to connect there with Madison Clifton. She's had a couple of goals and 1 assist on her stat line this season.
Nice shot by Dylan Romero, pressuring there. Unfortunately, she deflected it, but Pirates ended up on the end of it.
They're trying to get that speed. Johnson involved. Perez through the middle. Bergkamper thought about cutting back in. And knocked away. Out it goes off of Bree Delisle. And left here for Addie Bergkamper.
That's the kind of thing you got to be careful of if you're Brookfield Central. Bella Perez there just picked out the wrong pass, didn't play the ball where she wanted to, and all of a sudden you've got Pewaukee heading in the other direction with numbers. So got to be really careful with those passes in the middle. Just make the nice, easy one. Make sure you connect it. Turnovers in the middle of the field are way more dangerous than turnovers when you're in the attacking third.
Sophia Betts up this wing for Kylie Ramaker. Johnson, they get rid of it quickly. Hansen. Right now, top you have Clifton for Brookfield Central. Chernesky. Going to use the outside with Sorkness.
That's
right there with Charlotte Vaughn.
That's what I'm talking about. Pewaukee is putting themselves in situations where they're depending on a lot of one-on-one. There was Hannah Sorkness. She had the ball, a defender on her back, and she didn't really have any opportunities, any options. And they can't be afraid. I know they're trying to come back, but just drop it. Just make that easy drop. Switch fields with it. There's plenty of time left. They can be patient.
Off Johnson. So Brigham in the backup field. Off the head instead of Hansen. Roush. That rolls out right back to Pewaukee. We were talking about it too. Battle of a couple of schools out of the Waukesha County area. 6 of the 16 to qualify from that county.
It's impressive stuff. A lot of good soccer going on there in Waukesha County.
Schnetsky is back in for the Lancers as we near the halfway point here in half number 2. As we were showing earlier during that hydration break, what has taken place already here on Championship Saturday. Your takeaway from the day that's been so far?
It's been interesting as the teams have dealt with the heat and the wind. The wind has died down, but it made for some interesting contests. Takeaway is just how good Catholic Memorial is this year. It was pretty amazing watching them really control the game against a really good Edgewood team. Watching Xavier get back into the championship lane there in Division 4. Coach Meyer, who's been with that program for a long time. And then Muskego, who controlled that D1 championship game, and then gave up that late goal just sort of out of nowhere, and then really just had to hang on. Didn't look comfortable during the overtimes or anything, but then they pulled it out against Madison West in that shootout.
Only the second Division I championship matchup in the history of this tournament to be decided in a shootout, the first since back in 2006 with Homestead and Middleton.
That's just crazy to me that it's been that long since, it seems like every year we at least have one game ends up in a tie after a couple overtimes and a shootout.
Yet never in Division I.
Yeah.
Well, the fifth time a D1 championship game needed overtime, and the first time since 2015. Cara Delisle, Brigham in.
I was impressed with Madison West's resilience. That was the word we kept using for them as they fought back from being down. Muskego was playing well. West came back, and they really finished that game very strong. Unfortunately for them, didn't finish the shootout portion, the PK portion strong. But those two overtimes and end of game, last 10-15 minutes of the game, they really took it to Muskego.
And not sure what happened there. We see Elena Ehlert in some medical attention for Pewaukee.
Ooh, there you go. Looked like a bloody nose.
Brigham in. Maybe the attacking third for the Lancers. They have the 1-goal lead, a goal in the 47th from Dylan Romero, off an assist from Megan Rauch. So far in this second half, shots are at 4-3 Pewaukee. 12-8 overall in favor of the Pirates. And out it goes despite the effort there by Addie Burkemper.
Matt, I was thinking about that Catholic Memorial Edgewood game too. Sonoma Beaver, just you could tell, just an excellent player. But disappointed because Catholic Memorial did such a nice job of just bottling her up, and she was only able to get free to make a couple of really good plays, and they just did such a nice job of neutralizing her from that game.
Vanessa Johnson on the turn, and the path cut off as Brigham came over to help out. Able to help out with Bree Delisle. Just want to pick up here as Ehlert. You can't really see anything on the replay. Just sensed something was up, and the sideline she went.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. Some of these kids, they deal with that. They just get nosebleeds randomly.
Off they had a soreness, off they had a staining. One thing that stood out to me about this tournament, some of the storylines, we go back to last year, and you look at goalkeepers. We had a lot of freshman goalkeepers last year, and still have a couple of freshmen here, a couple of sophomores, but that was a big storyline last year. On top of the fact, number of teams that had explosive goal scorers, where I think this year, not taking anything away but from any one individual, from any of the teams that qualifying for state, but it seems like it's put more of a team concept for the teams that have gotten here to Championship Saturday.
Yeah, we've had a few who've had that dominant goal scorer, but A lot of the teams have really spread the wealth, and a lot of people who have the ability to put the ball in the goal.
Yellow card against Vanessa Johnson. That comes here in the 64th. And not a lot of goal scorers that have had that video game like numbers that we had last spring.
You're right. We did. We had a couple of those goal scorers where their goal totals were just out of this world.
Slender taking the spot of Johnson to the Pewaukee lineup. You see knocking down Bruggeman, warranting the yellow.
She comes in late.
Booked here in the 64th.
Dangerous. So deserving of a yellow.
Rossi. Sent away again by Chernesky. Along that far side with Slender. And the Pirates on that turn right into Rossi. Good ride over the head of Ramaker. That came from Opie. Stating. That shot goes in. Hannah Sorkness has tied the game here in the 65th.
Well, we said it early. Hannah Sorkness, she has shown us some things. And there we go. We've got a cross. We've got a drop. Got a square ball. There's that combination play inside the 18 that we've been looking for. Just sort of a scramble. Everybody tracks the ball. You got 4 defenders on the ball, and nobody picks up Sorkness as she makes her run into the box. Nice finish. I was just going to say, too, Matt, that Brookfield Central done a nice job of sort of controlling once they've sort of gotten into a rhythm with their possession. And then there's, again, a shot from distance where she had a diagonal pass forward to her left. I would have liked to see her lay it in there. Give her teammate an opportunity coming in on the goal.
Out of bounds on by Bergkamp for that long distance shot taken by Bruggeman. So Hannah Sorkness started scoring for Pewaukee yesterday after they fell behind 1-0. Peyton Stating on the assist. It's been around this time where the Pirates have really come alive in their last couple of games. Yeah, they're up a couple of goals on New Berlin Eisenhower last Saturday in a sectional final, but then put the finishing touches by scoring goals in the 69th and 73rd. Yesterday, tied at 1, then down a player, would go ahead in the 72nd and put the finishing touches on that one by scoring a goal in the 76th.
And that wasn't like clean by any sense of the imagination. That ball was bouncing around a little bit, sort of a scramble. All of a sudden you got 3 or 4 defenders on one Pewaukee Pirate, and just a nice layoff to the open player, making a run into the box.
Bruggeman. And coming over for the Pirates, Slender. Again, mind you, that came shortly after the yellow card to Vanessa Johnson. Oh, Charlotte Vaughn on the far side for Brookfield Central.
Another shot from distance, another ball into the box, nobody running on to the end of it.
So Dykstra back to the outside. Get some good play here from Hannah Sorkness of Pewaukee. This portion of the 2025 WIAA Girls Soccer Championship is brought to you by Rural Mutual Insurance.
Well, we saw how Pewaukee responded to being down a goal. Now, how is Brookfield Central going to respond to losing their lead?
The game that's seen Pewaukee outshoot Brookfield Central 13-10. 8-6 Pirates in shots on goal. See in the background, both teams get ready to make some changes. Stating. Leaving it outside. Bennett on the cross. Had it before he was played by Ramaker on this near side. Off the right cleat with Addie Burkemper. Stating.
Burkemper could have gotten a good touch on that. Ball bounced up on her. She wasn't able to get it onto her left foot.
Abby Hansen running it down here for Pewaukee. But again, having to hurry, getting rid of it. Oncoming, Madison Clifton. And now changes for both sides. So late stages here from the Line Soccer Park. Ehlert back into the game. Megan Roush on the near side for the Lancers. Throwing coming up for Brigham. After it goes Clifton against Hansen. Helping out Kylie Ramaker. Over with Roush. Off the hands of Dykstra. Right back out. Rossi scores! Rossi scores the goal for the Lancers, who take a 2-1 lead here in the 69th minute.
There you go, another scramble play. Loose ball out front. Another scramble, loose ball out front. Rossi gets on the end of it. Nice shot, nice hit from the 18.
An offense, a sequence that was kept alive. You had Madison Clifton, but Alexandra Rossi delivering here in the 69th.
Well, how does Pewaukee respond again? Going down by another goal. They responded last time. Well, they don't have quite as much time as they did before. We're in the final 10. If you're Brookfield Central, final 10 minutes, this is where you got to be really smart. You got the lead. No turnovers. If there's any danger, you play the ball out. Any danger, you play the ball deep into the corner. Let the other team go chase it down. And make sure you stay down. Pick up those runners.
Coming across. There's Kylie Ramaker.
No fouls in the box, no fouls in that area right outside the box, those danger areas. Just be smart. Smart defending, don't reach. Stay in front.
Rossi with her 7th on the year. It comes here in the 69th. Lancers back in front by a 2-1 score. The inside of 10 minutes left in this Division II championship matchup for the Line Soccer Park in Milwaukee. Brigham trying to use the outside. Ramaker there for Pewaukee. Now for the Pirates. Opie.
If you're Brookfield Central, make sure you get numbers back behind the ball. Got to be sprinting back. You got 10 minutes till a goal ball.
Roush.
Nice patience by the Lancers. No rush, no hurry, just make the good, safe pass.
And back out it comes with Kylie Ramaker. Opie. Back up that far side. And a Powell out there. She's sports jersey number 3, a freshman forward.
If you're Brookfield Central, make sure you always close the ball out. You should be doing that anyway all game long, but especially these last 9 minutes, 8.5. Close that ball out. don't let Pewaukee play the ball forward.
Hydration break here in the 72nd. A 2-1 lead for Brookfield Central. Lights are on here at the Eli Soccer Park. You see them on your screen. The new lights installed this week. Turned on for the first time a few nights ago. What do the minions say? Illumination?
I wonder if they're LED lights. Probably are. Really nice. Upgrade from before. Really light the field well. Keep the focus on the field.
Yeah, good look. Great glow off that turf. One of the new additions to the Eli Soccer Park. Again, the state tournament has been held here every year since 2004. You look at the history of this tournament, it began back in 1983 from Menominee Falls. Brookfield Central hosted the tournament in 1984. Hamilton and Sussex in 85, Racine in 86, and then Madison became the home from 87 through 2003 before coming the Milwaukee round.
In Madison, they played in Breeze Field, right?
Breeze Stevens.
Yeah.
So Coach Mackel's team responding after giving up a goal in the 65th to Hannah Sorkness. See the game tied at 1. Alexandra Rossi in the 69th as the Lancers up by a 2-1 score. And again, does Coach Sullivan's team have an answer now here in the last 8+ minutes?
And Matt, they made a lot of upgrades here since the state tournament's been here, from new stands, obviously the new lights, the turf field we're looking at. That was about 15 years ago or so. They put that in.
Perhaps next year the press box.
Oh, really?
No, I have no clue.
I was going to say new fencing. Remember that year where the crowd collapsed the fence? They were so excited. So a lot of upgrades. Concession stand, I'm sure the food is better than it was. Well, they've added mozzarella sticks. I mean, that's a bonus. You seem to enjoy those yesterday.
A little too hot today for anything fried.
We're
fried.
Ever too hot for anything fried, Matt?
Today, yes.
I don't think so.
Over there was Stating. Up the outside with Elena Cherneski. Trying to cut off the path as Ehlert coming across for Pewaukee. Lancers have the throw-in.
And here for Brookfield Central, there's no rush. No need to run up and get that throw-in. No rush to take that corner kick, those sorts of things. That's where you got to be smart. You can take your time a little bit. Sort of the exact opposite of what you would do in a game where you're trying to catch the other team, maybe taking a little break. But now at this point in the game, you want to take as much time as possible.
Vanessa Johnson back out there for the Pirates after picking up a yellow card. Bree Delisle a second ago. Lancers will put this one back into play, but again, they're playing with the leader right now. No sense of urgency. There's Johnson. Trying to do what she can on the attack for Pewaukee. A year in which she's come through with 13 goals and 1 assist.
Vanessa Johnson, she had a good opportunity early, sort of sandwiched in between or in the second half.
Well, a chance with Opie. Opie, down she goes. Robinson with Ella Opie going down for Pewaukee, and it's going to be a corner for the Pirates.
That's what I'm talking about. You just got to that ball. Don't look at each other.
Well, this is way too close to a kick for Pewaukee. Look at that. That's way too close.
I think the ball was far enough away. He wouldn't have got to it anyway. But that very easily could have been a foul. And the goaltender, Annie Robinson.
So Rossi was able to score a goal yesterday. A goal today right now. At the moment, the game winner for the Lancers as it sits. But lots of soccer left 75th minute. Chances here as Brigham in. We'll throw it in for Brookfield Central.
So I always said you got to close that ball down. Do not let the other team play it forward, because then stuff like that happens. Make them play it sideways. Make them play it back. You really got to focus on that.
Off the shoulder of Romero. Ayler got a piece. Romero recovers, plays it back. Roush. Perez. And now top for Pewaukee. They have the combination of Stating along with Vanessa Johnson.
Just connect passes. Just connect passes. If you can, get that ball up to the corner. Up to the corner. Let your teammate run onto it. Hold it in the corner. Make the other team go and scrape it out of there.
Stewart. And scooped up by Dykstra.
That's what you don't want to do, because now we've got Dykstra. She's going to kick it to half. You want to keep the ball away from the goalie.
Now waiting near side, trying to turn that corner. Bergkemper on the pass. And trying to make that turn. It was picked off and sent upfield by the Lancers. Right back to Hansen.
And if the Pewaukee Pirates, got to keep that ball in play. Got to keep that ball in play. Even if you're clearing it from danger, you got to keep it in play up that sideline. That's exactly what Brookfield Central was hoping for. Bunch of throw-ins, milk the clock a little bit.
Brigham in. Going to wrestle it away. Addie Bergkemper kicked it out. 77th minute.
That's good stuff from Brookfield Central. They're really killing the game here right now.
Now back is Perez. Stating. Outfield by Sorkness. Johnson giving way. Off the run here with Ella Opie. Got turned around. Opie. Gonna go across the way. Elena Cherneski.
And again, if you're Pewaukee, you've got time. Keep possessing the ball.
Stating going down on a foul here against Dylan Romero. As we hit 3 minutes left here in this second half.
That
foul against Romero.
That could have been dangerous.
Off the wall. And cleared again by Brookfield Central. Over for the throw, and it's Kylie Ramaker. That hurry-up mindset right now for Pewaukee. Trying to connect with Johnson. Johnson turns inward. That against Brigham in. Knocked away. Megan Roush. Sent back upfield by the Pirates. Over that to Johnson. Right back to midfield. And open for the taking. Given right back. Betts. Up the wing here for Ramaker. Flucked it off of Brigham in. And a corner kick here for Pewaukee. This will be their 5th corner.
Well, the Lancers went from doing a really good job killing the game to the last minute now not doing such a good job. Too many turnovers. Giving it to Pewaukee in danger areas, and now letting Pewaukee take a corner.
Bergkemper. That was out in front. Lancers again will clear. Throwing coming up here for Ehlert. He's at 90 seconds left. Sent away by Betts. Brookfield Central will take over.
And again, if you're Pewaukee, you still have time. You got a minute and a half. You can still work the ball, possess it, switch fields with it, bring it back into the box. All sorts of things you can do. You don't have to just rush and automatically just bomb it downfield.
As we approach a minute left here in this second half. will stay with the Lancers. Throwing here for Brigham.
Nice job. Get it down to the corner again.
And a stoppage of the clock here. Brigham with the throw in. Gonna split a couple. Perhaps one final push here for Pewaukee, but they give it right back. On the run here from Peyton Stading. Off the turn. That was off of Elena Cherneski. Lancer throwing with 20 seconds to go. This for Sarah Stewart.
Good job by Stewart trying to take that ball into the corner.
Last state championship for Brookfield Central came in 2018. They find themselves now seconds away from their 7th state title. The final seconds tick away. The Brookfield Central Lancers have won the 2025 Division II Girls Soccer State Championship. It took a goal in the 69th minute from Alexandra Rossi to get the job done, but the Lancers do it. Their 7th all-time state championship.
Matt, I was worried we were going into overtime again, and we're going to have another one decided by PKs. But the Lancers take care of it. They take the lead. They give up the lead. They get the lead back, and they do a pretty effective job of killing that game out those last 10 minutes.
A year in which Brookfield Central goes 14-5 by winning their final 7 consecutive games. More to come as we continue, but first, a message from your local station. This is your WIAA network affiliates. Brookfield Central wins the 2025 Division II Girls Soccer State Championship, knocking off Pewaukee 2-1. Dan Mackel, the head coach of the Lancers, kind of joins us on the field. First of all, Coach, congratulations. How would you describe that game? Okay, you take the initial lead, they respond, you guys have another response. What was the difference tonight?
We kind of talked about it in pregame whether we wanted to go into the wind or not to start off with, and we decided we would take the challenge. And our girls were great about it. Sean's got a great program at Pewaukee. They are so good. The resolve with our kids. They've fought through a lot this year. We're super young, but just the leadership with our group right now is fantastic.
Let me wrap it up by asking about how you saw this team grow this year, because, okay, last year kind of a down year. 4 wins, all of a sudden up to 14 wins this season in a state championship. How did this team grow over the course of this spring?
I think I said it before. The leadership of this group is fantastic. There's a core group from last year as well, and I think they wanted something a little bit more, and they really stepped up, and they really took all of our young ladies under their wing, and took them to and from practice every single day and every single game. So they treated them great, and I think it shows today.
Well, Coach, it was fun to watch. Congrats on the championship and all the best.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Matt.
That is Dan Mackel, kind enough to join us here on our post-game as Brookfield Central. They get the victory by a 2-1 final. More to come here from Milwaukee, but first, a message from your local station. This is your WIAA network affiliates. Brookfield Central wins the Division II state championship, knocking off Pewaukee by the final score of 2-1 as we check out the Wisconsin DOT play of the game. And roughly 4 minutes and 20 seconds after Pewaukee had tied the game at 1, Alexandra Rossi, right here, unassisted, able to score the game winner in the 69th minute. That officially goal number 8 for Rossi, scoring goals now in both games. After the play here at State these last couple of days.
Matt, we had a back-and-forth game. Wasn't sure how this was going to end up. Once Pewaukee got back into it and tied it up, it looked like we might be going to overtime, but the Brookfield Central Lancers stay strong, kept it rolling, and come away with the championship trophy.
Right now, the award ceremony in progress for Brookfield Central. Let's chime in with the PA announcer, Dan Pfeiffer.
Charlotte Vaughn. Mia Sung. Ellie Schnetsky. Bridget Klink. Megan Rausch. Bree Delisle. Alexandra Rossi. Kara Delisle. Ella Capers. Madison Clifton. Sarah Stewart. Natalia Lipsick. Dylan Romero. Kate Santney. Charlotte Gauntz. Anna Waterman. Annie Robinson. And Bella Perez. Will Coach Dan Mackel please come forward to receive the trophy for the state champion, Brookfield Central Lancers.
That wraps up the 42nd WIAA Girls Soccer State Tournament. Brookfield Central wins the Division II title. Catholic Memorial in Division III. Xavier in Division IV. And our day began with Muskego, a 4-peat. For Eric Shazer, our entire crew, great job, one and all. A busy day, a fun day of soccer here in Milwaukee. This is Matt Booth saying so long from Eli Soccer Park, and thank you for watching the 2025 WIAA Girls Soccer State Tournament.
The 2025 WIAA Girls State Soccer Championships have been brought to you statewide